up, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. On today's video, we're gonna be talking about a serious subject, a serious topic, period. And it's not nothing that we should joke over. So I ain't gonna have a lot of edits in this video, but yeah. So on this video, we're gonna be talking about depression and anxiety, things, how to cope with them, my experience dealing with it, and all of that, all of the above. So let's get into it. Like I said, we'll be talking about depression and anxiety, and this is just a video to also give you a feel of how I want my channel to work. I love to talk about topics like these and real topics that need to be talked about more than they already are, and just to let people know and my followers know that, hey, it's okay that you feel this way. It's okay that you may have this. And I know, especially in the black community, black culture, a lot of our parents or even kids these days don't really think that depression or anxiety is that serious. Like, I've had own experiences with some of my family members tell me that, hey, is no such thing as that. You need to just suck it up. You just being a wimp, or you want people to feel sorry for you, or you being lazy, stuff like that. So yeah, I just want to let everyone know that I have in my past been depressed. I first was diagnosed with depression and anxiety when I was 14 years old. I had went through some things in school. That's a whole nother video, but I ended up getting to where I didn't want to get out of the bed. I was forcing myself just to wake up in the morning. Like, it was so hard for me just to get out of bed, period. It was hard for me to make myself look approachable. I would just dress in just dark clothing. It's not funny, but it was a mess. It was a difficult time for me, and I didn't know what it was. And my mom at the time didn't know what it was either, because a lot of people, it's more known now than what it was before, but when I was first dealing with it, that was the last thing that my mom or my dad, anyone had thought that that's what it was. But my depression was pretty obvious, but the anxiety part of the situation, no one could understand why I couldn't, like, go into Walmart, or situations that overwhelmed me. I would literally just sit there and shake and cry and have a panic attack. Basically, I know it was a panic attack now, but then we didn't know what was wrong with me. And that was also difficult, to not know what is wrong with you. You feel like an outsider. You feel like there's something wrong with you on a level, like you make yourself feel like, oh, I'm crazy because I do this and no one else does it. But don't feel that way, because a lot of people have anxiety. I feel like everyone that I know has a little bit of anxiety. It has a little bit of the smallest depression, but it is serious, and it runs in my family very deep. But back to my story. I went to the doctor and I told him my symptoms, and he just told me that I have depression and anxiety, and I was put on medication. That's a whole different video as well about my whole experience on medication. But yeah, I was put on medication, and after that doctor visit, I literally broke down. I broke down. As soon as I got home, I called myself crazy. I was like, why am I on this? Like, why am I being put on this medication? Like, none of my friends, I was in middle school at the time, I was like I feel crazy for having to be put on this medication, to wake up every day and having to take medication because I'm sad and I'm down on myself. I felt like, and people were making me feel like I could get through it myself, but sometimes that isn't possible. It's just not. And it all starts with you, though. But you have to believe in yourself, and you have to be in a happy place on your own. Can't no one do it for you. Therapy is great, and I recommend therapy. I went to therapy myself. That was one of the things my doctor recommended to me, was to go see a therapist. And by all means, Dawn, she is amazing. But it took me, I would say, 2 years to realize that, because if you're anything like me, it takes me a while to open up to people. So here I am going into this doctor's office, and I'm like, what makes you think I want to tell you my personal business? I'm not finna open up to you. I don't know you, and you're a white woman at that. So I completely understand on that part, but once I opened up to her, and when she, you know, was starting to what's the word, she was starting to, I would tell her what was going on, and she would have answers for me. She would be like, okay, that's your social anxiety kicking in. Let's do this to overcome that. Okay, well, let's breathe like this instead of breathing like that. Like, it's amazing, and I totally recommend that. But yeah, I was a wreck, and I didn't want to have to go through any of that. But I got to the point where I was missing school. I think I literally in all missed like 3 months of school. During that time was a very, very hard time, and I had no one. The only person that was helping me was my mom. So shout out to my mommy, because my mommy was there for me always, and I love you so very, very much. Yeah, I love my mom. But anyways, I wouldn't say no one cared, but I don't think anyone understood to the extent of how depressed I was and how bad my anxiety was at that time, all because of people talking about me or people looking at me a certain way. And I don't think people understand, but when you have bad anxiety, social anxiety, whatever, it can make you think things that's not true. Like, I still suffer anxiety bad right now. I'm not depressed right now. I'm in a good state right now. I can honestly say that, and I'm very, very happy for that. And if you are dealing with depression right now, just know you can get through it. You're gonna get through it, and I will be there every step of the way. If anyone wants to ever reach out to me, I will always reply back, always. I don't even care if I really get big on YouTube. I will never sit there and have someone vent to me and me not respond. So just remember that one. Anxiety can make you feel like someone is looking at you and saying all this bad stuff about you, and really and truly they could be thinking about what they gonna eat for dinner, and you sitting on the other aisle like, oh my god, they really don't like me. You ain't never met this person before in your whole entire life, but for some reason your mind is telling you that this person over here does not like you, or this person over here is looking at your shoes, or this person over here is staring at you, that they gonna harm you. Anxiety is real, people. Like, anxiety can come in many different forms. My personal experience with anxiety is social anxiety, and any places with a lot of people, I still till this day cannot go. Like the movie theater, out. I used to love going to the movie theater, and all of a sudden it just was like, bam, you're not gonna ever be able to go. Well, I'm not gonna be able to go, because for some reason I can never enjoy the movie, because I'm always looking around like, so who finna come over here and shoot me? Like, it's so bad that, and don't nobody, 9 times out of 10 that won't happen, but then 9 times out of 10 that will happen, because we got some crazy you know what's in this world, especially in America. So we ain't gonna talk about that. That's a whole nother video. But yeah, I can't go into Walmart when it's crowded. I have to go late at night and do all my grocery shopping, because especially when you're dealing with people, and people are rude these days. Like, they will run over you with the basket, or they won't say excuse me, and that just makes me mad and want to beat somebody up. But on the other end, when I'm around other people like that, that's like clustered around me, I cannot focus. I can't function. I hyperventilate. I start sweating, and I get to a standstill where I'm like stuck in the middle of Walmart, like, get me out of here, get me out of here, get me out of here. So all of that is real. I want to talk about, I'm not going to go into detail on my story, because I do want to save that as another video, because what I went through was my personal experience. If you want to know, comment down below, because that will be a long video. And this one, I just want to address some of the things and just give my feedback of, like, I was on Twitter the other morning, and if you follow me on Twitter, you probably seen me retweet this, and it was this dude, whoever this is, it may be a girl, I don't even know, but they was talking about, if you are under the age of 20, how can you be depressed? And that really just set me off, like, because I was like, are you serious? Like, I went through my worst depression when I was 14 years old, nowhere near 20. So age has nothing to do with it, and whoever thinks that, you have a problem. Like, you may be the one who has depression or anxiety, like, and for people to bring you down because you're struggling with depression or anxiety or any mental illness, anything, like, for someone to just be completely wrong and just tear you down and make you feel bad about how you feel, like, no one should ever make anyone feel bad about how they truly feel. Like, you may not necessarily agree with how that person is dealing with a certain situation or is going through, you may think it's BS, but why tear a person down in the process? Not saying he or she was trying to tear people down, that may just be their opinion and wanted to post it. That's cool, that's fine, but it's like, I was reading the comments and, like, everybody was like, bro, like, you should have never posted this because this is totally wrong. Like, depression in my eyes and where I grew up, everyone that I know that had depression, it all started at a very young age, way before 20. And it necessarily kind of gets a little better when you are in your adult years. In some cases, in my cases it did, which I can't speak for a 20-year-old me because I'm only 19, which that is kind of like around the corner. But anyways, you know what I'm saying. But I don't know, people just have different views and beliefs on everything, but we gotta understand that as people, that everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but it don't necessarily mean it's right, because I had people come to me and tell me the same thing, and it really brought me down. It really brought me down for someone close to me to tell me, well, what are you going through that's so hard that you need all this attention, or you need to be on medication? It made me think twice about myself, and it made me feel worse. It made me even more depressed. It made me more depressed where I didn't want to be around anyone, because I didn't want anyone to feel my bad energy, to think that I'm trying to get people to feel sorry for myself. I just honestly could not. I could not socialize. I could not get out of bed. I couldn't go to school. It was terrible, and that video is gonna be pretty emotional, so if you would like to see that, just comment down below. But yes, if anyone out there with depression or anxiety, some of the things that I would recommend is, number one, go see a therapist. You can go see, it don't necessarily have to be like a doctor's office therapist, I guess, like a professional therapist. Like, it could be a school counselor, it could be a friend, it could be a parent or a friend's parent, it could be anyone. It could be a stranger. Some strangers will listen to you. I mean, I'm one of them strangers. You could reach out. I would reach out. I would get any help, any advice that you could ever get, any uplifting bringings. And I know if you're suffering with depression, any uplifting comment that you may get, yeah, you're gonna be like, that was so sweet, but you're not gonna feel it. You're gonna be like, that was awesome for them to say that, but you know, I really don't feel that. I don't feel that coming from me. Trust me, I get it, because people would be like, Deja, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that, don't be like this. And I'll be like, thank you so much. I needed that, but I had to feel that, like, in myself. Like, I had to know it coming from me first. I had to feel that I was beautiful. I had to know that I was beautiful. And although I appreciated everyone who was there for me, the few that was, because that's a whole nother story, but I appreciated it, but I didn't feel it within myself, so I didn't necessarily think that it was lying. It was hard for me to it was hard for that one comment to make me feel better. Even though it did, but I always had that Debbie Downer in the back of my mind of like, I don't feel like I'm beautiful. I don't feel like I'm worthy enough to do this. I don't feel like I'm good enough to do this. even though that was a lie, and I know I'm beautiful now. Everyone is beautiful in their own way. So I don't understand why our minds work like that, but it happens, and it's real. It's very real. I went to school with a person who committed suicide. This is raw content, but he committed suicide. I'm not going to go into detail on that, but he was bullied in school because he was bisexual. And we had came back from Christmas break. I think it was our junior year. So he had one more year of school left. But it just kills me inside to know that he had no hope. He thought he didn't belong here. Like, that no one should ever feel that way. Mima took her own life because she thought she didn't belong here. She thought that we didn't love her. And it's like, it's never enough. Always go above and beyond for the people that you know that is not as strong as other people, because you never truly know what anyone is thinking. And I know some people cry wolf, but what if that really happens one day? So just always take anyone serious. I know people can get tired of people crying wolf and being like, okay, well, this bitch not gonna do nothing. She just want attention. But you never know. You just never know. And I've learned that very well. And just, people don't understand how serious things get. Like, one comment can tear a person like whole day. It can flip their whole day upside down, and they may turn around and call them weak for letting that one comment like make or break them. But you have to understand that there's people like that. Like, I'm like that still. Like, you could say one thing and I just would be like, well, I used to like just shut down for the rest of the day, but I still shut down sometimes, especially when I'm having bad days. Everyone has a bad day. Yeah, well, it's not really about me in this video, so I'm not gonna go into all of that. But just call your people, check on your people, and the weakest people, check on them, and your strongest people, definitely check on them, because one of the strongest people in my life right now is dealing with depression. And never in my whole years of living would I ever thought this person, I'm not gonna tell their names or whatever, but never in a million years would I thought this person would struggle with that, would struggle with confidence, would struggle with anything. But it happened, and they're currently now on medication for it. And it's sad, but it is what it is. And I'm glad this person is getting help and actually realizing, what's going on with them, and getting in touch with their self. And just take care of yourself, guys. Like, always, yourself is gonna come first. Like, because if you're not happy, the person that you're with or your kid or anything, they're not gonna be happy, because they're gonna sense your negative vibes. I'm sorry to say, but depressed people have bad vibes. Either they're buttholes to people or they're just dead inside. But that's not necessarily the person in general. It's just that depression is making them feel that way. And I'm not here to say that everything that I'm saying is true, because I may be wrong about certain things. It's just how I cope with it, how I relate to it, how I know, how I've been taught about this by doctors or my therapist. Like, okay, this is the reason for this, or this is how this works. And one of the things that I also learned is, when you're stressed out and you're going through a lot of anxiety and depression, mostly your body shuts down and you get sick. Like, when I was going through depression bad, I would always get sick, and my mom would take me to the doctor, and she would be like, I don't understand why she's always sick. Like, it was every other week. Either I had a cold, stomach virus, either I would have mono. It would just always be every other week. And my doctor was like, well, she's depressed. When you're depressed, your body shuts down. You're weak, so your body is weak, and that allows, infections and all this other stuff to enter your body, because you're so down, you're not taking care of yourself, and you may not even realize it. But if you ever notice, depressed people are always either in the hospital or always sick or runny nose, and it's because they're so down that their body is down as well. Their immune system is down. And also, when my anxiety was really, really bad, when I had kind of like got in a happier place where I wasn't so much depressed, my anxiety kind of took over. I always had these dreams, and my therapist told me they were lucid dreams, and I was lucid dreaming. And let me tell you, them lucid dreams ain't nothing to mess with, because I would go to sleep at like 8 o'clock and not wake up until the next morning getting ready for school. And that's a pretty good time, like, to sleep. Like, you get your full hours of sleep, I feel like. Like, now, because normally I don't go to sleep until like 4 o'clock in the morning. And back then I was going to sleep at like 7:30, 8 o'clock and not waking back up until like 7 o'clock in the morning. But I would wake up and be exhausted because my dreams were so vivid, so real, that it was like I was not asleep. I was living in a movie. I was living in my dream. And it was because everything that worried me that day came out in my, what's it called, subconscious, whatever, my conscious mind, whatever it's called, your brain. Everything that stressed me out that day, or everything that I'm worried about that's going to happen the next day when my anxiety is blinking, that's going to happen the next day, came out in my dreams. Like, and also, people, if you are like me, you remember all of your dreams, write them down. Like, I struggle with writing mine down, but my therapist told me to write them down. And when I was going to see her, I would write them down in my phone, and I would read them to her, and she would like translate them. Like, I had a dream that my mom was pregnant, and my mom, she is not getting pregnant no time soon. And even back then, she wasn't going to get pregnant. She was done. She was done with babies. So I was like, this is crazy. Like, my mama does not want to have a baby. And my therapist, Dawn, she told me, she was like, well, that's a sign of new beginnings in your life, a new joy coming into your life. And I was like, that makes sense. So always look up your dreams and understand what it means. Like, even if it's a bad dream, like, I've had bad dreams before of like a man killing my dogs, and that was a fear of mine of my dogs dying, because I love my baby so much. And King is over here looking cute. Hold on, I'm finna show y'all. Say hi, baby. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's a big fear of mine. If someone like murdered my animals, like any animal, period, that's terrible. And she was like, well, not, because I thought it would meant like somebody was coming to kill my dogs. But she was like, no, that's just your fear coming out in your unconscious mind or whatever. I don't know that word. I may be saying it right, but I don't know. But I'm gonna look it up and put it down below so y'all can know what I'm talking about, because I know I be pronouncing stuff just wrongly. But yeah, put him down now because he don't really smell that good. I just hit myself. But yeah, so any question y'all guys have, or if you're struggling with something, you want to DM me personally, all my social media links are down below in the description. I'm gonna end this video and wrap it up because I don't want it to be too long, because I know how people are with long videos. But if you would like to hear my story and my personal experience with depression, anxiety, and how I got through it and how I got to where I am today, then comment down below and I would definitely do a video on that. But just make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, because I love this YouTube thing. And if you would like to see more of me, tell your friends about me and repost my links. And yep, but I thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.